Before the greatest war in history began, Krishna went around and asked every warrior one question. How long would it take you, alone, to finish this war? Bhishma said 20 days. Drona said 25 days. Karna said 24 days. Arjuna said 28 days. Then Krishna found a young warrior sitting alone on the road to Kurukshetra, carrying just 3 arrows. Krishna asked him the same question. The warrior looked at the battlefield, looked at the millions of soldiers, looked back at Krishna, and said, "1 minute." His name was Barbarika, and what happened next is the most extraordinary story in all of Indian mythology. Barbarika was not born ordinary. He was the grandson of Bhima, the most physically powerful of all the Pandavas. His father was Ghatotkacha, half human, half demon, capable of changing his size at will. From birth, Barbarika was exceptional. His mother, Ahilawati, taught him warfare herself, every technique, every strategy, every secret of the battlefield. And Barbarika absorbed it all like water into earth. But what made him truly extraordinary was not his lineage. It was what he received from Lord Shiva. Pleased with Barbarika's devotion and discipline, Shiva gave him 3 arrows. Not ordinary arrows, 3 divine, infallible arrows that could never miss, that could never be stopped, that could mark every enemy on a battlefield simultaneously and destroy them all. 3 arrows to end any war in any time against any enemy. 3 arrows to destroy the world. Here is what those 3 arrows could do. The first arrow, when released, would mark every single enemy on the battlefield, every one of them, simultaneously, no matter how many, no matter where they stood. The second arrow would protect every ally, mark every friend for safety, all at once. The third arrow would kill every marked enemy, all of them, at the same moment. 3 arrows, 3 moves, every enemy dead, every friend safe, war over. Barbarika once demonstrated this to the assembled warriors before Kurukshetra. He released an arrow filled with divine ash. It found every vulnerable point on every warrior's body simultaneously, marking the exact spot where each one could be killed instantly. The warriors stood frozen. No one had ever seen anything like it. Even Krishna was silent. Before Barbarika left for Kurukshetra, his mother called him to her. She asked him, "If you feel the urge to fight, which side will you join?" Barbarika thought about it and made a promise that seemed noble in that moment, but would create the most extraordinary paradox in the history of warfare. He promised his mother, "I will always fight for the side that is losing." Simple, fair, righteous, or so it seemed. His mother blessed him and let him go. What neither of them understood was that with 3 arrows that could end any war in 1 minute, the moment Barbarika joined the losing side, they would start winning, which would make the other side the losing side, which Barbarika would then join. He would switch sides again and again until everyone was dead, except Barbarika. On the road to Kurukshetra, Barbarika was stopped by an old Brahmin. The old man looked at the young warrior and his 3 arrows and smiled. "Just 3 arrows?" he asked. "For the greatest war in history? That seems rather insufficient." Barbarika smiled back. "These 3 arrows are enough to destroy the entire universe." The Brahmin raised an eyebrow. "Prove it. Do you see that peephole tree? Tie every single leaf of that tree with one arrow. Barbarika reached for his quiver, released one arrow. In an instant, the arrow found every single leaf of the enormous tree and tied them all together. Every leaf, at once. But the Brahmin had hidden one leaf under his foot. The arrow circled his foot, waiting, patiently. The old Brahmin looked down, and slowly he smiled. He was not an old Brahmin. He never was. The disguise fell away, and Barbarika found himself standing before Lord Krishna himself, in full divine form, blazing with the light of 1,000 suns. Barbarika fell to his knees. Krishna looked at him, and in his eyes was not triumph, not satisfaction. It was something that looked almost like regret. "You are the greatest warrior on this battlefield," Krishna said, "greater than Bhishma, greater than Karna, greater than Arjuna, even greater than me." Barbarika's eyes widened. "With your 3 arrows and your promise to your mother, you would destroy everyone, Pandavas, Kauravas, everyone, and be left standing alone on an empty battlefield. The war of Dharma cannot be fought this way." Barbarika understood, and in understanding, he made a decision that has echoed across 5,000 years. Krishna asked Barbarika for a gift. Before any battle, Krishna explained, the battlefield must be worshipped, and for that worship, the head of the greatest warrior present must be offered as sacrifice. "You are that warrior, Barbarika? You are the greatest here? I am asking for your head." The world went quiet. Barbarika did not argue, did not beg, did not ask why. He asked only one thing, that he be allowed to see the entire war with his own eyes. Even after Krishna agreed, and Barbarika, the greatest warrior who never fought a single battle, reached for the sword at his side, without fear, without regret, without hesitation, because sometimes the greatest act of a warrior is knowing when not to fight. Barbarika's head was placed on a hill overlooking the entire battlefield of Kurukshetra, and from there he watched. He watched 18 days of the greatest war in human history. Every charge, every fall, every moment of courage and cowardice, every divine intervention. He saw everything. After the war ended, the Pandavas argued among themselves about who deserved the credit for victory. Krishna said, "Let us ask the one who saw everything." They went to Barbarika's head, and Barbarika said something that silenced every warrior on that field. "I saw only 2 things. A divine chakra spinning across the battlefield, killing all those who stood against Dharma, and Draupadi, in her true form as the goddess Mahakali, consuming the sinners as her sacrifice. You did not win this war. Krishna did." Krishna looked at what Barbarika had given, and he was moved, deeply moved. "You gave up the greatest power any warrior has ever possessed," Krishna said, without argument, without condition, without fear. "For Dharma, I grant you this. In the age that is coming, the age of Kali, you will be worshipped by my own name, Shyam. Whoever calls your name with a pure heart, their wishes will be fulfilled. You gave everything you had, and I give you everything I am. And that is why today in Khatu, Rajasthan, there stands a temple. The Khatu temple, where Barbarika is worshipped as Khatu, also known as Harakasahara, support of the helpless. Thousands of devotees visit every day chanting his name. The warrior who never fought a battle, worshipped as a god. And here is where the story gets stranger still. Some researchers, looking at the descriptions of Barbarika across ancient texts, have made a remarkable claim. They say Barbarika was not human. His skull, still preserved in the Khatu Shyam temple, is described as metallic. His eyes did not decompose over thousands of years. He could handle multiple weapons simultaneously with mathematical precision. His speech was described as slow and mechanical. Some say he could not recognize faces, that he thought not like humans, but like machines. Was Barbarika an ancient robot? Was he artificial intelligence, created in an age we have forgotten? We cannot say for certain. But consider this, a being of impossible precision, 3 arrows that could scan an entire battlefield simultaneously and execute a perfect kill strategy in 1 minute. Sound familiar? Barbarika had 3 arrows that could end any war in 1 minute. He had the strength of Bhima's bloodline, the blessings of Shiva, the precision of a divine machine. He was, by every measure, the most powerful warrior at Kurukshetra, and he never fought a single battle, not because he was stopped by force, but because he understood something that the greatest warriors on that field, with all their weapons and all their pride, did not. That true power is not in destruction, it is in knowing when to surrender your power for something greater than yourself. He is worshipped today as Hara Kasahara, support of the helpless, not the strongest warrior, not the most powerful, the most devoted. This has been Shrunoti, ancient Indian stories told the way they were meant to be heard. If Barbarika's story moved you, subscribe, share it with someone, and come back next week. Because there are thousands more stories waiting, and every single one will change the way you see the world.